Boo! I'm in such a good mood today. I don't know what got into me, but I am ready to go. So tonight, we're going to make what my family calls puffy chicken. Really, what it is it's my version of Chinese sweet and sour chicken. We're going to make that. We're going to make some fried rice. I did buy some jarred sweet and sour sauce, and I may or may not attempt to make my own. I'm not really sure how I'm feeling very confident about it, but I may give it a try, but have that as a backup or just go to the backup. I'll surprise you. But let's get right to cooking. Let's go! All right, so to get started, we're going to need breasts of chicken. I didn't have any. I can't believe I had so much chicken in my freezer. So I had to go out and get this big old thing of chicken. This chicken is $12.89. So I'm not going to use this entire pack. I probably, because these are big, giant chicken breasts, I'm sorry. I may use one, at the most two, but I really don't think I'll use two. It might be 1.5. But so each breast, when you break it down for the cost factor, each breast in this pack is about $2.60. So we'll go from there. So that's what I'm going to use for the puffy chicken. I'm also going to use these two things that if you watched my haul from the CARES program, these came in it. This is pancake syrup and this is rice. So I'm going to cook this in the Instant Pot. And this is what I'm going to use for the puffy chicken. Doesn't have any directions on it. It says it's complete. So I'm just going to add water and see where we go from there. But let's get the cutting the chicken up and get the rice going in the pot, because I want this to get in the refrigerator and get cold before I cook it to make the fried rice. I just like cold sticky rice better than the fresh hot rice, I guess. I don't know. But let's go. All right, let's get started with the rice. Nothing in there yet. I'm going to turn on the Instant Pot. I'm not the best Instant Pot cooker. I use it very rarely. So this is a learning curve for me as well. Well, not making rice, but learning how to use an Instant Pot, because I got it about a year ago Christmas, and I was gung-ho on learning how to use it, watching everybody use it, doing all that stuff. And I'm so used to cooking. I'm so used to just cooking, that when it comes time, I'm looking for my wooden spoon. Here it is. They keep putting it in the wrong drawer. I'm used to cooking like on a stovetop. So grabbing this pot is not my number one go-to. That's the thing. I have to actually make my mind up that I'm going to use this Instant Pot. And when I decided I was making this chicken last night, I decided I was going to try it in the Instant Pot. So, okay, so we're going to turn it on, saute, and I have to find it. All right, so it says brown and sear button. So let's start that. Sorry, I had to squat down to see it, to see what I was doing. So I put that on the brown sear. I'm going to put some butter in there. And I'm going to brown up the rice a little bit before I add the water and all that kind of stuff to it. So just a little butter, or in my case, Country Crock vegetable spread. Brand new one. Brandy new. Now, we're going to start talking about my rice. Because typically, I wash the rice until it runs clear. That's a lot of butter I just had on there. Until it runs clear. I don't like that when I'm trying to make fried rice. I don't want I want the sticky rice. So I did wash it. I put it in there, zhuzh, and then poured it off. But that was it, just one rinse. I didn't wash it until it ran clear because I do want it starchy. So what I'm doing now is I'm buttering the pan. I'm melting the butter in here. Here's the pot I use. I just pour it. And this is 2 cups of rice. So I'm going to put 2 cups of rice in. I'm also going to put at least 2 cups of water in. That's my understanding. But I still look through the rice because not that long ago in one of my videos I show you there was a rock in my rice. So now this is going to make a lot of rice, but there's 6 of us. So if we don't use it all in tonight's dish, I just leave some out and we'll use it in tomorrow's dish. Or the next day's dish, because this is going to make a ton of rice. But we're only having the chicken and this. I do have in my deep freezer, I have some, the store where I'm at, it's called ShopRite. And I do have some frozen egg rolls. I might make it just because it's Chinese food or whatever food. I don't know what's the politically correct thing to say. But I have some frozen out there and I might just get it because so far this meal has only cost me $2 and $2.60. It was 59.6 something like that. So $2.60. But that's starting to get in there. It's funny is I could smell the rice has a smell to it. I say it all the time. I should have been somebody like a perfume sniffer or something like that. But then I probably wouldn't have did well at that because perfumes give me a headache. So I can only wear or be around like clean smelling, like soapy kind of a smell. It can't be flowers or perfumey. It has to be just a very clean scent. There used to be one by Tova. It was called Tova. I loved that. It was called the signature one because there's a couple of different ones. And I'm just trying to get this little bit of brown in here. I'm just giving it a second because there's a lot of rice in here. I used to love that perfume, but then I think I became a little bit more pricey, when I wasn't living with my mom anymore and I was paying my own bills. Well, some things had to go. And the QVC Tova perfume was one of the first to go. Sadly, we had to put it to rest. So we've only been cooking this for about 2 minutes now, I think that says. But once we get done with this, I'm going to add it. I'm going to pause you right now so you don't have to sit here and watch paint dry. Okay, so that is toasted. I'm going to get some water off here. There's 2 cups of rice in there, so I need 4 cups of water. And I have a 4-cup measuring cup here. So I'm going to put that in there here in a minute. Okay, so 2 cups of rice, 4 cups of water. Okay? No seasonings are going in. It's all going to go in after. So now I'm going to change Well, first I got to put this on and we're going to change it. Let's see. And we want rice is 3. Here we go. I told you it's not my go-to, so that's why you see me struggle. There we go. Let me move this over here a little bit so we could get to the chicken. All right, let's get it to slicing the chicken. I'm only going to use one because this thing, when I tell you this thing is huge, it's got to be at least a pound of chicken, at least. So I'm going to do it with this, and then we'll see how much it makes. I'm pretty sure this is going to be enough, though. So what we're going to do is I'm going to slice the chicken into little bitty bits that we're going to dip in there and then fry. So I've tried making them like before, where I made big chunks of chicken and then breaded it and thought that was going to be good. It doesn't hit the same unless, because when you get that food at the restaurant, it's really like a processed kind of a chicken. It's not like whole pieces of chicken in there. So what I do is I cut them really, really small so that the kids will eat the little bits. And sometimes I even take the hammer, the tenderizer, and beat it all up so it's good and beat up, and then I dip it. So I'll see how I feel. But yeah, so this is slit pretty much down. So we're going to make this, you know, just these strips. That's about the size of my pointer finger. That helps you any. My fingers are average size. I don't have big hands. They're proportioned to my body, 5'4". Well, I'm really 5'3", but I used to be 5'4". But just about that. And then I'm going to half them. So it's going to be half of my finger. If that helps give you any idea, any indication up to what I'm doing, that'll be that. So half, first thing. That's about the size I want. Really not much bigger than that. And now you're seeing how much meat I have compared to pieces like that. So I'm going to make good time of this. Again, I'm just about the length of my finger, your finger, depending on how big your finger is, and then cut it in half. And that's about all I'm doing. So I'm going to cut this all up, and I'll be back when we get to the next step, because I really don't know if anybody wants to sit here and watch me slice chicken. So, all right, we'll be back. All right, so I just cut up a tiny bit more of a piece of chicken. Although it was about a pound, when I looked at it, it just seemed like I needed a little more. I did not use a whole. I didn't even use half of one of the other breasts. It's maybe a quarter. But I put it in this pot, and I put just seasoned salt and pepper on it, because you still want to season your meat, even if it's going to go in something sweet, you know. Then what I do is I try not to touch anything with this dirty hand. Take a little bit of the, I don't even know, Millville, no name brand. Now I'm not saturating it. I'm just gonna, boop, that's it. That's it. No more. And mix that around in your chicken. The reason I'm using the pot is not because I'm going to use the pot, but I had already rinsed my rice off in it and everything, and it was just sitting here, so I got to wash it anyway, so why not use it like a bowl to mix this chicken with. So you always want to season your meat anyway, even if what you're putting it in is seasoned. So that's it, right there. So dark. I don't know if it's dark, light, what, but I'll move it around here. There's a window here and over here. And then this is all upper cabinets. So it's really hard. I'm getting my island that's coming. I can't wait. Somebody is gifting it to me. It's good to have friends in high places, right? These people own, it's called Center for Integrated Medicine. It's to help the disadvantaged, housing, medical, everything from dental to psychiatry to food to housing. I mean, they're a whole place. Well, anyway, one of the guys there is remodeling his house, and I apparently word got to him that I wanted an island. I don't know how, but he's like, "Hey, you want this?" And he's like, "I paid like $800 for it, but I'm just going to get rid of it." I'm like, "Yeah, I'll take it." He goes, "Well, you want to see it first?" "Nope, I'll take it." I don't even have to see it. If it's the right size, it's for me. So I'm picking that up sometime this week. So very shortly I'll be able to stand over here, cook, and go back and forth. And that'll be so much easier than trying to, I got my stove right here and then just on the other side of this counter. Like it's like two of me wide. Well, two and a half of me because it curves to the sink. So it's not a really big, and then you got all this upper cabinet here. So I have nowhere to put the stand. I have nowhere to so I'm working in this tiny little spot, and it's kind of dark over here. So I try and put a light on it, and then it makes shadows. But anyway, that's what we're doing. So I'm going to mix up the batter here in a minute. I'm still a little bit ahead of schedule as far as for when I needed this done. That's why you can't see me. You see that? That's from the window. I'm a little ahead of schedule, so I'm going to throw some of this in here, let this sit for a bit. And my rice is done, about to be done. I heard it beep, so I have to let the button go. But first I got to wash my hands, get this chicken off this hand. Not this one, but I'm still going to wash them both. All right, I'll be back. All right, let's see what's going on with the rice. I vented it already. I moved it over, let out the air. The pressure is down. I'm still going to open it away, even though my cabinets are over here. I'd rather open it away from me than towards me and get a facial. All right. Woohoo! Oh, look at that. It's sticky rice, too. I like sticky rice. Came out fantastic. I can't kind of hold it. Wonderful. Now, this sticky rice, I'm going to put in the refrigerator because that makes better fried rice. So I want to get some of this, let it cool down, get it into a bowl, get it in the refrigerator, so when it comes time to make the fried rice, we got this. All right, so I'll be back when it's time to start cooking everything and getting the chicken ready, because right now I'm at a standstill. All right, let's start making the batter for the chicken. Now, this pancake mix that I got, it says it's complete. I got it in the bag for free. So I'm not really sure what to do. It says complete. I'm assuming it's just water. So I'm just going to dump what I think I need in there. I'm going to add a small amount of baking powder to this because I want it to puff a little bit. And I don't think there's... Well, there's a little bit in there. I'm just going to add a little more. A teaspoon. Because I really want it to puff up. Maybe not quite a teaspoon, but... Now I'm just going to mix this baking powder in here. I'm going to add a little bit of the syrup in here to sweeten the batter. And then I'll add water. Because we want it to be, because it's got that sweet consistency to it. This batter, what I did off camera was I already washed it. I had a little thing like this. I filled it, made some batter in it, and then fried it in a little pan just to make sure that it tasted okay. And what I found was I didn't season my meat, and this batter isn't very sweet. So I don't want it too sweet, but I definitely don't want it plain. It just tasted like nothing. So typically I would just season the meat and then just put that on there, but I'm not going to. So depending what kind of pancake mix you use will be whether or not you need to add anything to it. Let me get a little bit of water. Now, what you could do when you get to the chicken, you could dredge it and then stick it in the fryer or the frying pan. Or you could just dump it in here and shake it like I did the chicken wings. So yeah, I'm just mixing this around. Oops, it's gonna be good. So what I always say, when I make a mess, it's gonna be good. Shot right out of the pan. Not the pan, the bowl. I have to tell you, I mess my words up a lot. You'll notice I struggle for my words sometimes. And it's not because I'm dumb or anything like that, or I don't know my words. It's I suffered a traumatic brain injury many, many years ago. And so sometimes I still have trouble finding my words. Or I'll use the wrong word, like I told Eric the other day to put the pot in the refrigerator. He's like, what? But what I really meant was the oven. And it's not so much that I'm just getting older and things get like that. I've been like this since 1998 when I couldn't even remember, my own address and things like that. So I want this to be thick, but not so thick, but I don't want it so thin that it drips right off. I want it to hang on a little bit. I have the chicken marinating in the refrigerator. I take it out in a couple of minutes and I'm going to drop it in this batter. And I'm just going to, oh, yeah, see? I'm up here to smell it. I could smell that little bit of pancake syrup in here. And I feel like that's what this pancake, let's try to taste it. I don't usually taste raw flour or raw pancake batter, but oh no, that's good. Ooh. It's real pancakey. Sorry, I had to wash it down. So I think I'm about right where I want it. It's not so thick that it stays on the spoon, but it's not so thin that it just falls right off. And that's how I want it. Just like that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this. I'm going to dump the chicken. Boom. Right in here. Shake, 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 shake. And then I'll just pull them out piece by piece and throw them in there. Because if I don't separate them, they'll go into one big clump. And then I'll have a giant clump of chicken and pancake batter. All right, so I'm going to give this a minute because I'm not quite ready. But every time I take a step, I come on back to let you guys know what it is that I'm doing. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm going to cover this up with this right here. I'm going to finish putting away all my garbage that's around here. Start getting out the ingredients, get them back out for the fried rice. And I'm going to go with giving the kids an egg roll. I decided. So far, I'm on the yay. So, and those are just easy. They're store-bought frozen egg rolls that I put in the air fryer for, I think, like 10 minutes when I was on this egg roll kick. And it was getting real expensive going out and getting it. So I started buying them frozen, which was nearly just as expensive. So, all right, let's keep it moving. All right, I'm going to start on the rice now. Now, you only need one small white onion. This is a pretty decent size onion, so I'm going to use half. Hopefully it's good. I've had it for some time now. I'm just worried that it's not good. I bought them to make onion rings with, and I never made it. So I'm hoping that my onion is still good. Saving all that. All right, it's fine. I saw a discoloration on the skin, and I didn't know if it was going to be bad, but it looks fine. I'll decide if I want to put the other half in there as soon as I see what this is doing, because I have quite a bit of rice to make. That off over there so we can put it in for our soups. I'm going to have so much. I mean, I can make chicken stock for the whole neighborhood. I have the tips from when I made buffalo wings. The tips for those. I have all the onions and peppers and carrot ends and you name it. I got it. I could probably make enough. I don't cook that much soup so that I would need all that. But I'll tell you what, if I wasn't doing it when I needed it, it wouldn't be here. But I don't want to not do it because then I'll get out of the habit of doing it. So I'll just keep doing it and have extras for the time I forget to do it. So I just cut these just a couple of slices down. Y'all know how to cut an onion. Cut your onion how you want to cut your onion. Not how I cut mine. Because everything is how you like it, not how I like it. I forgot to go that way in it, so they're a little bit bigger than I want. But they're white onions, so they're not that strong. All right, so let's see how that looks in the pan. I want to use this pan to make the chicken in, so I don't want to have everything. So I'm going to cook the rice. Yeah, that's right. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm going to cook the rice first, so that I can move it to another frying pan that I could easily just, warm it up. But I want this pan to brown it in. This is my favorite pan. Oh, pan overboard. Doesn't want to chop right today. It's how my nerves are pinched and stuff. I'm not getting enough oxygen. The beds of my nails, see, they turn blue. Called puddling or something. Sorry, my fingernails aren't very good to look at, but the nail bed, they're turning blue and I'm not getting enough oxygen, so I have to. And then, and that starts taking away the blue. Happens to my feet too if I stand too long. It's called puddling. But it's because I'm a shallow breather. I don't breathe deep cleansing breaths. I can thank my mother for that. My mother is like a corpse. When she goes to sleep, you can't even see her chest moving. She just goes just like a bear. You know, they go into hibernation, they breathing, and her heart rate slows down. My mom was in the hospital recently. All the alarms are going off and everything because they thought she wasn't breathing. But she was. She was just sleeping. But they said it's not good that she does that, but that's what she's always done. She's always been a very shallow breather, and so am I. And I see the effects of it. And getting old. I'm going to be 60 years old in June. Still parenting, right? 60 years old, and I'm still taking care of kids, running after a house full. All right, so I was just chopping. I think that's enough onion. Now, I have soy sauce to cook with. I also have hoisin sauce because I can't use oyster sauce or Worcestershire sauce. So that's going to be my my substitute. Now, here's something I learned by watching ethnic food channels. Because I like to see how they do it twice around the world. That's what I call that. Once, twice. And I'm going to move you over so you can see what I'm doing. Matter of fact, I should probably do it now. Hold on. Let me pause for a second. All right. So, quite a bit to cook in this oil, and that rice will suck that up. So let me just get this a little bit on the warm side. Excuse me while I take a drink real quick. Okay. Just enough until they get fragrant. Got a little bit of garlic. Nothing's coming out yet. We're just shaking it down. About a tablespoon or so. I'll show you. Have you moved so you can see me over there. And the only thing I'm doing is I smash it with my knife and then chop it. And it kind of like, just kind of wakes it up a little bit. Because I got you so close so you can see the frying pan. You may not see what I'm doing, but I'm just pressing down on it. And then chop, 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 chop. You got to be careful because you don't want your food to burn. That's kind of high. So what I watched, let's get it back into that when you're making fried rice, this stuff you want to cook on, mine's a little hot. There, it's calming down a little bit. Medium low heat, just enough to cook them. But when the rice comes in, especially when it's sticky rice, I know that not everybody likes sticky rice. I do. Like my fried rice, not like just table rice. I love it sticky. I don't know, the rice that I just cooked, like I said, I got it for free. And I like it sticky, but this one seems a little bit on the too soft side for me. So we'll see. I've never cooked this rice before. I've never had that brand before. So maybe things will change. And if it doesn't, I just don't use it when I want this kind of rice. You know, believe me, my kids, and I say this in the most loving way, My kids are ignorant like that. They will say, this is nasty. They don't spare my feelings, and I love that about them. And when I say ignorant, I don't mean it like they're like bad kids or anything like that. But I really do. When I'm feeding them, I want their honest opinion. I don't want them telling me it's good if it's not to them. I might like it, and they may not. You know, they're just kids. So if they like it, I'll make it again. So a lot of times I'll say, do you like it? And they say, yeah. And I say, well, should I ever cook it again? And they'll say, yeah, because they're nice kids. And then I say, would you ask for it again? Sometimes I get, well, once in a while, you know, but that's about that. Okay, so these are starting to caramelize. You see that in the pan. And that's all I wanted. I don't want much more than that. And I'm gonna do half of this garlic because it seemed to be a lot. You gotta watch garlic, because if that garlic, you know what? I'm just gonna throw it in there. I took it out, put it in there. Garlic burns. There's no coming back from that. You got to start all over again. You got to wash your pot, start all over. And I've done it, or I didn't have more garlic or onion. I ended up having used garlic powder and onion in some butter. All right, so that's good. Look at that. Look how quickly that cooked up. It's already fragrant. So now I'm going to add the rice is what goes in last. So I'm push this off to the side over here. Let me move this out of the way. Now I got peas and carrots. It said I add about a cup or so. I don't usually measure. This bag is not even a full bag. It's something that was in my freezer. But we'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so there's a cup. Boom. Now, I have that much left in the bag. I'm not saving that little bit. Now I'm slightly moving this pot off the heat a little bit. I don't want those onions to overcook too much. Typically I'll have my veggies sitting out so that they'll come to room temperature so it doesn't take that much to cook. And because, ew. That's the top of the carrot. I don't want that in my food. That's gross. So I just push those onions off to the side, as far off as I can get them over here. I love frozen veggies. My kids, they don't. They want them fresh or canned. Black. No flavor, all salt. I made that, and they will not eat. I put it in their food the other day. They ate it because they're kind. Green beans, frozen green beans. I tell them they don't know what they're missing because they taste more like the original when they're frozen. But they just rather not. So until they develop a more sophisticated palate, you know. They used to love the, there's another one. They used to love the soups. What kind of soup? Campbell's soup. Until they got a little bit older and I gave them Progresso. And they're like, can I have some soup? And not the baby kind either. That's the Campbell's. Now these onions that I had pushed up against the side over here, they're translucent already. That's why I'm trying not to overcook. Hope you can see that. Can you believe these peas are still... Oh no, they're good now. The only thing I don't like about peas, I love the taste. I don't like the skin. All right, hold on a minute. Let me put this earbud down. I'm sorry if it clanks. Oh, almost dropped it. Almost. Man overboard. I have some more rice in the bowl over there. But I wanted to get started with something. Now for the rice, they want you to cook it, especially if it's starchy, they want you to cook it on high because it doesn't stick to the pan, is what the lady was saying. But I don't know. Thought I had different soy sauce. Soybeans, wheat sauce. Okay. Some of the soybeans has oyster sauce in it. And Eric can't eat that. So I have to always check. Even for things I'm certain of, I still check anyway. Because every once in a while, they do things different. And it throws me off. Now here's the hoisin. Not really sure where I got it from, but I'm not opening it until I decide if I want to use it or not. See, I told you this rice came out a little bit too sticky for my liking. But I wasn't about to throw it away. I cooked it. I made it. Let's just call it what it is. Yeah, I probably should have rinsed it a little bit more than I did. I only rinsed it once. And I'm not used to cooking with rice in an Instapot and all that. I'm used to like real quick doing instant rice. So if this doesn't come out right, see? For a minute I thought it was getting ready to stick. It did stick a little bit to the bottom, so I got to keep it moving. Kind of clumped up in the refrigerator in there. I just have a feeling I'm not going to like, here I go, doubting cooking again. I'm just going to add the soy sauce. Kokomon. I'm going to start mixing it through. Yeah, so when I watched the lady, I can't think of the name of the girl I watch. I can't remember off the top of my head what it is. But if I remember when I'm editing this, I will absolutely add her name in. She does great stuff. Her accent cracks me up because she overemphasizes her R's. She's like cooking. But I talk. But I think that it's very possible that English is not her first language. I don't know. But she does have a little bit of an accent, but it could be. Oops. Man overboard. It could be. I want to taste some of it. I know it's not really mixed through yet, but I don't want to keep adding more soy sauce and things like that if the flavor is there, but the color isn't. Yeah. Flavor's there, the color isn't. And it's starting to stick. I'm keeping it moving and it's still sticking. But this is real life. This isn't like, well, it's kind of like TV, but it's not like when you watch on TV and everything's scripted and everything comes out right. Sometimes I make big boo-boos, and sometimes I don't. I probably should have oiled the pan down a little bit more before I stuck it in there. It might be a... I'm just going to add a little bit for the color, not so much the taste. I don't have dark soy. I didn't know there was such a thing. It looks dark to me. But apparently there's a difference between soy and dark soy. But there you have it. You just got to keep stirring it until it's all like not white. And then I'm going to move it to another pan until it's time to cook the chicken. And now I got to scrub this pan because it stuck a little bit because it was so starchy. But that's it. I'll be back and I'll show you the end result of this, and I'll be back when I start the chicken. All right, I want to show you a hack. See, it's stuck to my favorite pan. I want to use this pan. I don't have time for the elbow grease. Take some hot water, turn your pan on, and let it boil. That will loosen up all of this stuff that's on there. Just lightly go over it while it boils. It comes right up. Now that pan was good and hot. It'll take a minute to you know, heat up the water, but that's, I'll show you at the end. Get off this stuff off of here. I'll show you at the end how good it comes off, but it's got to get hot. Yeah, see, it's already coming off. Boop, coming right off the bottom. So, I don't know if you could see in there. See how you can see like the water, different color? Watch. All I'm going to do is just push. I'm not even touching it. It's just coming right off. It's an easy way to get stuff off your pan. Okay. Look at there. That would have took me forever to get that thing clean. Just a little bit of zoop, 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 zoop while it was boiling, and we're good to go. All right. You still like some things in it a little bit, but I wasn't going for perfection. I just didn't want the bottom to have sticky stuff on it. All right, let's get ready. Let's get the chicken out, and let's get going on the chicken. Oh boy, there was a whole bunch of potty mouth going on here. I went and got my cooking oil. Uh-oh. Couldn't find it. I was like, son, beep, beep, beep. Good thing there's nobody here, right? Now I got to go to the store. Whoop. Found it. Thank goodness. But now I know I need to get another one because I'm on my last of it. So by the time I remember to get it, I'll be down there like that. I know. I should make a list, right? Yeah. I make lists and they disappear. I'm just stirring up the meat in here with the little bit of syrup I had put in it, and I stuck it in the refrigerator just like this. You can still see the salt and pepper. It's good. It'll be all right. I'm not a fan of the rice, I have to tell you. It's okay, but I almost half wanted to just toss it and cook some instant. I don't like that rice. And it's not the Instapot. It's not how I cooked it or seasoned it. It's the actual rice. I tasted the rice after it came out, and it just, I don't know. I just don't like that brand of rice. I didn't even, until today, I didn't even know plain rice had different flavors. It's rice. So, but, sorry, I'm drinking. I'm drinking! I half-heartedly kind of really do want to make it over again because I don't like the way the texture of the seasoning great. The mixed vegetables and everything, fine. It's the texture of the rice that I don't like. So I'll let the kids decide when they get in if they can hang with it, or should I? Because you see how quickly I made that, and instant rice will come together. It just won't be cold, like that rice was, but it'll be more crumbly. All right, well, that seems better. Okay, so I got the oil heating up over here. I think I have it too hot because I've been trying to get this thing to turn on. I'll be glad when I have it all like it's supposed to be, a real good setup. I'll get there one day, but today's not the day. Okay, so I had stuck a couple of pieces in here earlier. I just want to make sure that this does what I want it to do. I want it to not stick. I want it to be hotter than that because I want to go in and cook like that. Dipping it and waiting a minute or two, that's not what I want. But I also don't want it popping on me because I just heard it start to pop. And this is just like frying anything else that you typically fry. You know, I don't know if you know how to fry or not, but that's what we're doing. Let's hope that I've done this right. It's not quite hot enough. That's the problem, trying to rush it. It should have went shh when I put it in. And because of that, it'll probably stick. Because I had to rush it. Yeah, that's not quite hot enough. And it definitely stuck. But it looks good. Look at her. Oh, I don't have a pan to put it in. Oh my, oh my, oh my. What am I going to put it in? All right, let me get this colander right here. Because at least this way it could drip off and go on a plate. Hold on. I'm stuck in it. Oh, it's going to be loud, guys. Sorry. I don't know where my paper towels are. Here we go. All right, got Eric getting me the paper towel. Oh no, don't stick. I got distracted. I just wanted to make sure, get this one done, and then make sure that my my batter is to temperature. I have Eric, look at that. Hold on. I have Eric getting me the, see? Sweet and sour chicken like you get at the Chinese food place. Let's see if we got it now. I have to use my fingers, just using this fork isn't kicking it. I lost the chicken in here. stick right there. Hold on, hold on. I'm on the video camera. You're not dressed. Just stick it right over there. They didn't see you.
Yes, it did. I looked at it.
I'll edit it out. Came down here as he always does in his skivvies.
Ate it.
And I'm doing it slowly because I don't have, I don't have it down yet as to the temperature. So I'm just adding in a little bit at a time. Once I get the knack as I go on, I'll add more. I said that because Eric came down here. He thinks you guys saw him in his underwear, but he doesn't realize there's nobody actually there right now. There's nobody, like, it's not live. So he didn't go in front of everybody in his underwear. I can edit it right out. He gave me the paper towel. I just don't have the time now to put it inside the thing. Now this is white meat. I'm sorry, I'm not talking. This is white meat, so it doesn't take long to cook. I don't want to add more raw chicken to this until I'm putting a bunch in at one time, because now I got the batter down, but I don't want it to get too far ahead of myself. Where's my little scooper thing? Hold on a minute. Try not to get my fingers in the, I say, watch what I do and learn what not to do, right? So now I'm going to put them all in at the same time instead of adding raw in while I'm got some coming out. I got some raw going in. I don't like the idea of that. So, oh, there's a dust flying in the air. Fuzz or something. Remember how small I cut these, and you see how big they're puffing up. So even if I left them huge, they would have stuck together or been chewy or whatever, and then the kids wouldn't like it because they like their stuff easily chewed. See, now I can start adding more because I got a little bit of a knack of what I'm doing. What I should do is start from one end of the pan, coming down to the other side so I know which ones I stuck in first, because I don't remember. I was sticking them all over the pan. So, but that's about it. I'm going to continue on doing this because you don't want to watch me just moving chicken around a pan. When we get back, I'll show you this. Oops. Oh, now I need another fork. Got company coming. This is what I'm using. The kids decided they just wanted the jar kind, so that's what I'm going to use when we're ready. I'm not going to make the actual soy sauce, dipping sauce. All right, I'll be back when we're about done. All right, we're coming down the home stretch. See how much chicken's in there? That's why I was saying I wasn't sure if I was going to need that much chicken. These last couple are the ones I always mess up because I start getting other things ready. You hear the microwave go, and that's because I'm heating up the sweet and sour sauce. And of course, this is a little bit browner than I wanted it, but ouch, just popped me. But that's what always happens on my last couple of pieces. So I'm going to plate this up. The rice over here, this over here. They decided they did not want the egg roll. So Eric has never had this before because he's just recently being able to, this is like getting overcooked. He's recently able to eat, I have burnt that one, I always burn the last one. He's recently able to eat wheat. He was never allowed to eat it before, so this kind of thing he didn't have. He just had regular old chicken. He couldn't have this. I tasted it. The reason I put the pancake syrup in the batter was because the batter was like kind of flat tasting. I should have just waited. I would not add the syrup to the chicken because I could taste it in this and it doesn't taste like the authentic, what I'm going for. So I would skip that step. Eric's about to get his first taste of sweet and sour chicken when I didn't make it like I wanted to. But that'll be that. All right, I'll be back when I plate it up. Okay, there you go. Sweet and sour chicken with fried rice. I think it looks fantastic. Now Eric's going to get a taste test. We'll see how he likes it. Okay, Eric, since you recently have been able to start eating wheat, you're going to have sweet and sour chicken. Give her a go. See if you like it. Use your fork. It's like, oh, it doesn't matter. Is it good? What does it taste like?
It's good. That's like pancake with
What does the sweet and sour taste like?
watermelon with a dash of lime and sugar.
Huh? There's no watermelon in it, but that's the way of describing it. It's more pineapple, but how about the rice?
I love the rice.
You love the rice? I did a good job? Okay. So 1 thumbs up, 2 thumbs up. 2 thumbs up. All righty.
And 1 heads up.
That's funny. Okay, there's my plate. Looks, oops, sorry, I got my napkin in my hand. Looks yummy. But there you go. Oops. What kind of plate is that? That's a yummy plate.
Well, there is nothing left to show you a wrap-up. They absolutely loved it. I hope you will too. So please like, subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification bell. You'll be notified whenever I upload a new video.